This is Amateur Logic episode 83 for October 15th, 2015, our 10th anniversary. This episode of Amateur Logic was brought to you by MFJ, the world leaders in ham radio accessories at mfjenterprises.com, and by Icom, making DX local. Hi, welcome to AmateurLogic.TV, episode 83. I'm George.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Peter.
It's great to be back with you tonight for the 10th anniversary extravaganza.
All right. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years.
Boy, it is. And look who we got with us tonight.
Glad to be here.
One of the founding members of Amateur Logic, Jim Burrell in 5SPE. Jim, what have you been up to?
Woo! Just a whole lot. Mostly a lot of computer programming, software. It's eating the world, and it's been eating up all my time.
Wow. It can do that.
Yeah, that's some fun stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It's great to be back, though. It's good to see you guys, you two guys, and then Peter from down under.
And a little later in the show, we're going to get out the step ladders and a straw and get into, where are they? I can't.
Right here.
They're over there. They're behind Tommy.
Yeah, I'm hoarding them over here.
You know, it's hard to point to things in here when Peter's right there and he just swallows your arm right up.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
cool. No, boy, what a fun 10 years, huh?
it's amazing. 10 years goes by.
I want to propose a toast. 10 years. Here's to the next 10.
You guys are doing it big.
Cheers.
Peter.
Cheers,
Yeah,
Peter.
cheers. Cheers.
Your radio's up.
Yeah, that was your radio.
This is a ham show.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question for you guys. Is that the same grape juice that you were using 10 years ago? And has it fermented a bit by now?
Well, you know, we had actually planned on doing a joke with that, but since it's too late, Jim,
That's
what do you
that's
think?
a good question. It's that vintage. What year is that, George?
I'm not sure exactly. Let's see. It expires in July of 16. There you go. We could not get Welch's in a can.
You actually can't get it
So we
in a
can't make a
can
cantan.
anymore.
How are you going to make a cantan out of that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I tried 2 different places and I couldn't come up with a can of it.
You could wrap it in aluminum foil, I guess.
I guess so.
I think,
Wonder what wavelength that is.
I'm not sure, but I think maybe the FCC had the other stuff banned.
Oh, yeah.
All like
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
So anyway, I don't remember what episode that was. Maybe 3.
something like
It was
that.
one of the very early
Yeah,
ones.
well, it was 3. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of folks introduced their video podcast back then with
Drinking.
drinking beer, drinking wine, whatever that.
And we don't have that clip, do we, Tommy?
That one we don't have.
We don't have.
Yeah.
We have plenty of others, but we don't have that one.
Well, yeah, we do have a lot of clips here tonight for you. But let me say this before we get into it. 10 years of Amateur Logic, 83 plus episodes, because there were some shows we did that didn't get an episode number. They were just
We took a long vacation, like
Some summers.
5-6 month vacation there for a while.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years in a row, I think.
So we've done so many hours of video that there's no way we could have a clip from every one of the episodes tonight. We tried it for the 7th anniversary, and it ended up having to be 2 shows. It was so long. So we want to recommend that you go back and I don't remember the episode number, but the 7th anniversary episode of Amateur Logic.
I believe that might be 75.
It might be 75. No, it's not. It's not 75.
They'll find it.
Yeah. The 7th anniversary of Amateur Logic, there's 2 episodes there. Go back and watch those, and you're going to see a lot of other clips that we're not going to be able to show tonight.
Or you could go back and start at number 1 and watch them all from scratch
People have done that.
if you're feeling pretty brave.
Yeah. People have done that and come out on the other side.
No,
Yeah.
that's hard to believe.
Yeah. We don't encourage it, but, you know.
At least don't watch them and then drive.
Right.
Yeah.
We did not know what we were doing.
No. And Tommy, I don't know what's in this first clip here. Do we want to watch that before we talk about it?
Yeah, it's just kind of the first one, just some snippets of it. And it shows the 3 of us, and we were a lot younger then. And
We were.
looked quite a bit different.
I'll see that. Yeah, sounds interesting.
We're here in Jackson, Mississippi, in the woods at a Wi-Fi site that's serving a subdivision here, and we're talking with Jim Burrell, who's
Howdy.
one of the proprietors of this business, and he's going to show us what's at a typical Wi-Fi site like this. Tell us a little bit of what we're going to see here.
Well, we're going to see a basic Wi-Fi cell or base site. It's composed of just 2 or 3 main components and a few little accessories.
This is the guy wires and anchors for
Correct.
the tower.
3 anchors, 4 guy wires, each anchor 120 degrees apart.
Now, we are here in Mississippi, and there's a hurricane approaching as we speak. It's expected to make landfall in the next couple of days, but it won't bother us here. But now everyone has heard about Hurricane Katrina and the damage and destruction that it caused across the Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama Gulf Coast.
We're about 150 miles inland from the coast. Here in the Jackson, Mississippi area, Katrina was still a Category 2 hurricane.
That's right. The main problems we experienced here were widespread power outages, telephone and cell phone outages, loss of internet connectivity, and a severe gasoline shortage.
Yeah, if you don't have any electricity, how are you going to pump gas?
That's true.
Also, most of the evacuees that came up here from the coast and from the New Orleans area came on empty tanks.
That's also correct. Food was also in short supply, and we're just now starting to get reserves. But we want to focus on electricity today. Without electricity, things can get a little bit tough.
Yeah, that's why we want to give you a few pointers on best how to deal with it.
AmateurLogic.TV. We're not fooling anyone.
I forgot all about that.
Oh man, oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I like that tagline, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Zeno's beard, boy.
Yeah, man, I'd kind of forgotten about that.
George's
That's back-
ponytail.
That's back when it wasn't white.
That was back in the hair days.
Yeah, ponytail days.
Wow. That was, well, that was 10 years ago.
Wi-Fi distribution service, Jimmy, or the cell tower?
Yes. Oh, and what was your question, Peter? I did not hear the
Well,
first
the
one.
business you were running then, are you still running that?
No, I'm no longer running that. At the time, we provided wireless ISP services. I had a small, I think back then they called them WISPs, which stood for Wireless Internet Service Providers.
Wouldn't be
We,
too practical these days to have that, would it?
Yeah, well, no, too much competition from LTE and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, that was, boy, we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just trying
That's
something.
right. Yeah.
It was more of an experiment than anything else. I watched some video podcasts, and I called these 2 guys up, and I said, hey, go watch some of these shows. I think we could do this, and somebody probably watch it. So, and
Yeah.
apparently y'all did.
Apparently somebody is.
Worked out that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is that over the years, since the show started, is the sort of all the different people you've met and the avenues it's opened up, like, for example, Ham Nation.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Bob Hall and Gordo. I noticed in the chat room here a minute ago, there was a guy that I would like to have with us tonight. Email, I can't, is it N5K? What was it called?
KE5.
KE5QKR.
Yeah.
Ara. That's it. Yeah. Email was in there with us for a number of episodes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, on the intro for Amateur Logic now, you'll see a valve on a PVC pipe, and I think that was from Email's segment where he made
Yeah.
a potato
Yeah,
shooter.
Emil, he's the one that took out the lights at the Super Bowl down in
He
New
is.
Orleans, isn't it?
Yes,
He fired up his amplifier.
it was. Yep.
Remember that?
I remember
So that was in
that.
one of the segments.
That was one of the classics. for
Yeah, it
sure.
was great.
But yeah, so there you go. We had the cheapest cameras we could find, and these
And weren't
same
scared to
microphones.
use them.
Yeah.
Cheapest cameras and weren't scared to use
Weren't
them.
scared.
And
to use
decided
it.
we could do nobody told us we couldn't do one.
Right.
So
Right.
You know, honestly, we did that first one, and it was fun. And I'm like, yeah, well, it'd be a miracle if we do another one. And now here we are 10 years later, and they're still
10
going.
Yeah.
years. Wow.
And people are still watching. So, you know, I mean, obviously there's nothing to watch on regular TV anymore.
Apparently,
Not far off the truth.
Yeah.
it really is.
Well, let's move forward in history just a little bit now. I don't remember the number of this next episode. I think you may have it over there, Tommy.
That was on episode 11.
And when was this one?
That was December of 06.
Let's see what was going on then.
Welcome to Let's See What Crazy Jim can come up with next. This is a little something that I saw and actually heard on the QRP reflector Echo Node Link QRP-L, I think. What we're talking about doing here is taking this propane torch that you see, firing it up, putting it to the back of this printed circuit board that has a lot of capacitors, resistors, inductors, what have you, and heating up the back really good. Our thought there is we're going to bang it into this box and maybe not sling anything into the camera lens that way or onto my legs. I'm wearing shorts today, you can't really tell. At least they're kind of stuck up under the table right now, so maybe they'll be okay. Heat things as evenly as possible over the back, and that's one reason we started off with a small board. Maybe if we add a little more flame. I don't mind telling you I'm a little bit nervous when it comes to the thunking against the box part. Okay, I see some parts that are really loose. Oh yeah. Voltage regulators, power resistors. Yeah. Transistors. Okay, he really tried to get me. Came down right in the chair there. Small pieces stay hot for quite a while, and so you can just really pull those right out of there. Whoa, okay. Try not to hit your propane torch.
That was smooth, man. You never missed a beat. Never missed a beat.
Oh,
Did those scars finally go away?
we always need to preface that one with a, ladies and gentlemen, do not try this at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was
Do not
going to.
let Jimmy try this at home.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to suggest we all brought torches and did a fireworks salute, but George wouldn't let us bring them into his shop here.
It's too much. We're too strapped in
Yeah.
in case anything would happen.
There's too much stuff between us and the door.
Yeah,
You know, now we know that there are much safer ways to do parts recovery, and not the least of which are toaster ovens. And
That was a lot more memorable than a toaster oven,
Yeah,
though.
we got much more mileage out of this than we ever would have something like that.
It was fantastic.
I did have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Did have a lot
we
of
all
fun
did.
doing that.
We all had a lot of fun with that one.
No doubt.
You know, you would just be, I don't guess you guys would be surprised, but I was really surprised at the number of people who not only saw it, but, you know, would ask you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ask you about, hey, there, you
Yeah.
still got that torch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I actually do still have that same torch.
We've done a lot of things over the years since, 10 years. We've been to Dayton a few times, but you and Tommy made the first trip out there.
Yeah, we did. That was fun,
Well,
man.
from our little group anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, from our
Yeah.
little group.
Yeah.
Had you been out there before that? I can't remember.
No, that was
So
my first
your
trip
first
as
time,
well.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all brought back
That was a lot of fun.
a little footage from that. I had to
We
go
did.
after
Yeah.
I saw this right here.
Okay.
Good morning. It's Friday. What is today? I'm a little excited. May the 18th, Friday morning, currently 9:09 a.m. local Dayton, Ohio time, and we're here live broadcasting from the Dayton Hamvention International.
Tommy, we're still out here at Dayton Hamvention, and we ran into Bob here, W7KU. He puts new meaning to portable operator. Tell us about your equipment, Bob.
Well, I've got a Yaesu FT817 and a little MFJ mini tuner and a 35-watt amplifier. And my antenna is parts from the Buddy Pole antenna line, but never used the way they're originally intended. I've got it center loaded and a big capacity hat on the top, which really makes it really efficient, more efficient than it would be.
Well, you know, I couldn't go to Dayton myself, so I checked around the internet, and I came across the website of WA5KUB, Tom, out of Memphis, who streams his trip to Dayton every year, and he also streams video once he gets there at Dayton. And, you know, I was watching that thing one day there during the convention, and I saw these two weird-looking characters come up. They looked vaguely familiar to me.
Yeah, you know, we actually ran into him and did an interview with him. His name's Tom. He's a really nice guy, WA5KUB.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
We're still out at Dayton Hamvention, and a lot of you that have checked the coverage on the internet may have seen Tom's link, wa5kub.com, on the Hamvention site. He's been streaming his trip all the way up here, I believe, from Memphis. Isn't that right, Tom?
Yeah, that's right. 550 miles. We were able to stream it the whole trip.
Can you tell us about the equipment and what you're using for connectivity here?
Yeah, we're using the wireless service that you can get at about any provider like Sprint or Verizon. It's the EVDO. We take our stream from our encoder here on the laptop. We send it back to a server that we have in Miami, and then that server is on the internet, and then we have a much larger connection to the internet, so we can serve a lot more people.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and hopefully we'll see you out here again next year.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Tom looks a little younger there than he does now,
Yeah.
too.
We all looked a little younger
We
there.
all do. Well, Tommy was looking really young there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was really young. It's been a long time, man.
I
You
tell you.
just got your driver's license.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I had to get my mom to drive me over there and drop me off. When was that? That was June of 07?
Yeah.
Wow.
Going back a ways.
First trip to Dayton.
Going back a ways.
That was a great time.
Yeah, we did. We met that guy from 2600.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember that? Alt
Yeah,
2600?
Emmanuel Goldstein.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him on 60 Minutes before.
I mean, yeah, when you start talking hackers in the hacker world, I mean, that guy was like
You may as well hit me, man.
premier black hat scene hacker.
He's
One of the
He's one of
first.
the ones that cracked that DECSS, whatever it was, encryption for DVDs.
Yeah. That guy's
distributed
done
it.
some. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but yeah, let's just say that
Is
Yeah.
that a bounty?
I'm kind of tied in here. Yeah, I can't get up there to get to the paper towels.
You know, I actually looked just out of curiosity just to see if they were out there. The other times I went after that, I never did see them out there again.
Really?
So,
At the Hamfest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was kind of surprised to see them out there.
Yeah.
How many hours drive is it from
here?
Jackson up to Dayton?
Yeah, we flew, but we did check, and it was like 11 hours.
Yes, about that.
11 hours. Yeah, 11-hour drive. How far a
Similar
drive
to-
would it be for you, Peter?
A little bit further, but the trick would be getting it across the pond, getting the car across.
They don't have ferries. They don't have.
Not across the Pacific Ocean. No, don't you?
No. Okay.
That sounds like a business opportunity.
Yeah,
Somebody should
that's
look
right.
into.
Yeah, business opportunity right there. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was Dayton, and we've been to Dayton a few times since then.
Since then.
We also done field day a few times,
We have.
Oh boy.
but one of the most memorable field days was probably the first one that we captured portions of it on video. I don't know, do you remember anything about that, Jim?
Now, the first field day that we recorded, was that when we camped out in the tents up?
Today is field day. And if you're a radio amateur, you know what that means. Operate from things such as emergency power, in fact, as if it were an emergency situation. That's just one thing you can do on field day. I think we can do that. It's 3:22 p.m. local time, Central Daylight Time here in Mississippi. And I haven't done a thing yet for field day. I don't have anything set up. I think if I get started now, I can have all that set up and going and be on the air inside an hour. Ready to give it a go? Let's see about affixing the antenna to the mast. Hook it in a hole at the top of the mast. Let's see how that works. Of course, anytime you're raising any kind of antenna structure, now then, whoop. If my mic is still working, if you're looking for where to tie off the wires, make sure that each step you take around the pool is actually on the ground and not over the pool.
Okay, again, I stand by the same comment I had before. You were pretty smooth. Even after hitting the water, you just walked right out of there. Never missed a beat.
Yeah.
Never missed a
You
beat.
did look a little cold, though.
And of course, pools make a very good ground system.
Yeah, that's right, Peter.
Yep. That was classic.
That was
That
a lot of
was.
fun.
That was, but you know, that's not the only classic moment we've had in 10 years. You know, every now and then we do something that the audience is really not expecting.
Yeah. Sometimes we do some things we're not expecting.
Now the FM 900 is tough, seriously tough. To demonstrate how strong the FM 900 is, our guest is going to drive over it in the heaviest four-cylinder car known to mankind, the Toyota Camry.
For legal reasons, we can't say that was the Stig. That was the mystery guest. I forget what it was called. The mystery guest whose identity is unknown. So it could have been the Stig, but then again, we can't be sure because we don't really know who the Stig is.
That's right.
That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was classic work right there, though.
It does. Yeah, it does actually open up the possibility of a new show. Similar to Top Gear, we could have Radio Gear.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think the
love it.
Stig's available right now too.
I think so.
Yeah, he's probably out of work at the moment. Yeah.
Oh,
But that was a lot of fun to make.
yeah.
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 That particular segment. Yep.
And now with the
great.
price of the Chinese radios, you could afford to produce a show like this. Almost weekly,
Yes.
you can run over 100 of them.
True.
Well, those FM 900s, though, are a dime a dozen. You can pick them up very cheaply, like $5 each, at our local swap meets, and they're very, very tough.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ob-
A lot of them
obviously tough,
They were
yeah.
commercial radios, and people convert them over to either 2 meters or 70 centimeters, and they're not that hard to convert.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Motorola units around here.
Oh, you found
We've got to
it.
remember, though, with all our wild animals and how dangerous it is here in Australia, everything's got to be 10 times tougher.
Gotcha.
Including the steaks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We won't talk about snakes. No, we don't want to go near the snakes. They're all poisonous.
Steak. S-T-E-A-K.
Oh, steaks. Oh, the steaks aren't bad.
Yeah. Okay.
They're edible.
Yeah.
Well, we had Jim's memorable field day scene there a moment ago, but that's not the only fun we've had on field day. We've done it 3 times. We went out in the woods to Schrock, Mississippi, way off the grid, and just took the bare essentials that you would need to do a field.
I don't know if I'd call it the bare essentials, because we had like 3 pickup loads slammed full of stuff, man.
Well, the bare essentials plus just a little bit of
A
spares.
little extra.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, let's have a look.
We wanted to invite you to our field day extravaganza.
Yep. Believe it or not, we're going to the woods.
And I mean, in the woods.
Deep in the
Seriously.
woods. Yeah.
Serious woods.
The wilds of Mississippi.
Yep.
Off the grid.
Jim's got the potato shooter here, and his special fuel.
Special fuel is Aquanet. Use this for all your potato gun needs.
Much more success.
Did you see how far I cast that apple with this fishing pole?
Tommy's working 20 meter sideband and Jim's working 40 meter CW. And we've set ourselves a goal for the number of contacts we're going to make, which is incredibly low compared to the clubs and all, but this is our first year.
Well, the first one didn't work out too well. It didn't go far enough over the limb to drape down where we could reach it.
I think we got a good one.
It's a good thing because it's kind of like Barney Fife. We only got 1 bullet.
Well, it's 10 p.m. Central Time. You can hear the crickets and the generator running. And things are going better now. We are starting to pick up a few more contacts. We're working 20 meters. Tommy's got PSK going. Wayne has been working some 80 meter single sideband, and he's just worked W1AW/3. I've been working on 40 meters and just switched over to 15, and 15 seems to be a pretty good band for me on this mystery antenna. A few years ago when we were in the woods, we were still operating out of your single canopy there, the screening canopy, which always worked good for us. It was kind of warm.
Yeah, we actually had an apartment this time.
We pretty much did, didn't we?
Yeah. We had a little issue with accuracy in the slingshot this year. We managed to get several pieces of lead hung in the trees, and we lost about a half a tackle box full of fishing weights. So underneath this beautiful piece of architecture, we have 2 awnings set up. Wayne had a big tarp, so he came up with the idea to string it up and drape it across the top of them, which that helped to keep the shade off, keep limbs from falling on them, and if it rained, it gave us a little extra protection. We got an air conditioner going through over here where we cut a little hole, and Wayne had a little 5,000 BTU window unit he brought sitting on a milk crate over there to keep it off the ground.
And the generator's still happily purring along up there in the rain. We've got these nice looking little vines here that are growing on the trees and on the ground. Maybe we can figure out what those are.
Oh man, you guys had it made.
Oh man, it was like, you know, staying in Trump Plaza or something.
The last year was a lot more comfortable than that first year we were out there.
Got the AC.
Maybe not as comfortable as when you got to take a dip in the pool.
What was that, Peter?
Lots of mosquitoes out there?
Oh, plenty. Yes, sir.
Actually,
This year wasn't that bad. The first year I remember them being bad. The year Jim was there, but last year for some reason they didn't seem to be too
flocked
bad.
to me. I don't know why.
What about gators?
Gators. There's no gators in the woods, Peter.
We're
Well,
yeah.
you hope so. Hope not.
They're not. They're not. There was no swamps around there, so
But there are squirrels.
plenty of
yes.
squirrels.
Yeah.
And they will eat your feed line up too.
Jim, you're gonna have to come to field day with us again. Now that you see we've kind of got the flow down.
Yeah.
And we really could use someone with a potato gun. That slingshot, man, I got bursitis after.
Yeah. The slingshot did seem to be the weak link in
It
this.
was. It was.
Yeah, I'm liking that AC now. Yeah, that's it.
We probably spent more time trying to put the antennas up than we did anything.
Yeah.
So
That can be the tough part of the job, all right.
Yeah. I've got one more little clip here that came from Dayton. You know, we always are looking for those special treasures that you can find. Sometimes they're hidden under the tables in the boxes there, you know, that people have at Dayton. I think Tommy found this, though, probably on top of the counter.
somewhere in here I have some gold EL259s, the mother load.
And you're going to make a ring out of those, or is it going to be a necklace?
Both.
Both.
I'll make a nose ring out of one.
We found the blooper.
That might be going just a tad too far.
Yeah. Are you just going to screw it in?
And I'm still going to do that. I can't find anybody that sits still long enough for me to solder the thing on it, man. Everybody wants to move.
Let's see. This was in 2012.
Yeah.
So it's only been like 3 years.
Yeah, it's about time. Awesome.
Everybody needs some gold
That was fun.
EL259s.
Yeah, I got tickled at my own self, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have those moments, don't you?
I don't even know where it came from. It just kind of came out.
It did.
Just kind of came out.
I was standing there. I
Just
saw it
kinda
happen, man. Well, I tell you what, we need to take a break for just a minute, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to have some fun.
I'll drink to that.
Sounds good.
Do you want to get on ham radio, but live in an apartment, condominium, or other antenna-restricted area? Well, the MFJ 2389 Ultra Compact 8-band vertical antenna may be your answer. You get 8 poplar bands in one 8.5-foot tall antenna. It's 1/4 wave on HF 80 through 6 meters, 1/2 wave and 2.15 dBi gain on 2 meters, and 5/8 wave with 5.5 dBi gain on 70 centimeters. SWR is 1.5 to 1 or less, and it handles 200 watts PEP single sideband
and 150 watts on 6 meters through 70 centimeters on FM. The super lightweight MFJ 2389 antenna is less than 6 pounds and just 8.5 feet tall. It lets you mount in a restricted space environment like an attic or balcony. The ground radial system is built in, so there's no fooling with counterpoise wires. This antenna includes 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, 6, 2 meters, and 70 centimeter bands in a compact and user-defined configuration. The MFJ 2389 has an SO239 feed point connection and comes with everything including mounting brackets, U-bolts, and hardware for easy installation. Each HF band and 6 meters has its own independent tuned radiator and radial system, while the main antenna mask itself is pre-tuned for operations on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. The 2389 makes a great portable and temporary antenna as well. Visit mfjenterprises.com today to learn more about the MFJ 2389 8-band compact vertical antenna. Over the years, we've spent a lot of time perfecting our video making hobby. I was going to say craft, but you can't really call it that. Yeah. We decided, I don't even remember when was this one, Tommy? We decided that we were going to show the making of AmateurLogic.
April of 2013.
And it's changed a little bit since then, but let's take a look at what it was like back in 2013.
Today's the day we shoot episode 50. I'm on my way to Georgia's right now so we can shoot it, and I thought I'd get a little behind the scenes footage for you guys while we're at it. To communicate with Emil and with Peter, we've been using Skype and recording the streams. Because of bandwidth constraints, we usually do Emil first, and then we'll play that back in context through the rest of the show while we have a live feed from Peter going at the same time with us.
We're sitting way back here at the other end of the building, and for me there's a monitor between me and Emil. Tommy may see him out of the corner there.
I can see him a little bit, but
Emil will get a camera and do it the right way.
Yes. Okay, so we got to put our headphones in so that we can actually hear what Emil is saying. This is how we get the audio together. We've got our microphones running here. We've also got a feed coming from the computer that gives us Skype into here so that we can mix in through the monitor circuit here. And I can see he's actually right here. So we've got a little bit of him feeding the camera, and on the monitor we're feeding a little bit back that goes to the earbuds so that we can hear what's going on. And we're feeding him from the monitor as well, so we've got ourselves up a little bit in there. So all the slide pots here, that's what's feeding the camera. And the monitor row here is what feeds the monitors that we're listening to as we're shooting.
for cameras we have 4. We have 2 Canon HF M40s and 2 Canon HF G10s, but we typically shoot with the 3 you see here now. The 2 40s are pointed at George and myself for the isolated shots, and then we use the G10 for the wide shot that you normally see with us together. Since George has changed his shop and built the green screen that you've seen throughout the video, we have a lot of flexibility. We can put up pretty much any background we want. Normally you see this one that looks kind of like a vent for a piece of gear, but we can put other things back there and take the show where no one's ever gone before.
Some of these I really don't remember that well, Tommy.
I think we have gone where no one's ever gone before.
Oh, I know we have.
Oh.
Yeah. And where no one will ever go again.
Oh. I know that first.
That's the second oblique Star Trek reference in the show so far.
Yes.
It's kind of a nerdy.
We're all closet Trekkies, aren't we?
Oh, indeed.
I'm not closeted, man. I'm just like, I love Star Trek.
Tommy came out of the closet quite a while back. But what were we talking about before that?
So looking at that little clip right there, Jim.
Yes.
It has changed quite a bit since 2013.
Just a lot. Oh, man. I'm telling you.
Steve over in the chat room was asking, have you ever used a script? In episode 1,
Yeah.
We used a script.
Yeah, and
a
if you go
teleprompter.
back and watch episode 1, you'll see why we don't use the script and the teleprompter anymore.
Yep.
It comes out too stilted. You can actually, you sound like you're reading from a script. And
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
I don't even know that it qualify for that. That's being kind of kind.
It is.
Well, what are we looking at next, guys?
Well, you know, we saw your trip to Dayton a little earlier. We've got another trip we made to Dayton in 2013, and by then, AmateurLogic was starting to get a little recognition around, and I received a nice award from Dayton Hamvention that
yeah.
year. Boy, it's in there on my mantle right now. My wife won't let me keep it out here in the shack, so.
It must not have been a leg lamp.
No, it was not the leg lamp. We do have the leg lamp out every Christmas,
Yeah.
but you know, there again, she won't let me have a big one, so I've got
Just
the
a little mini leg
the
lamp.
little mini one. Yeah.
Next, I'd like to bring up a familiar face in amateur radio. And we have with us George. You all know George. Smoke and Solder, Hamvention. George A. Thomas Jr. Whiskey 5, Juliet Delta X-Ray. And how many of you have seen his program? Either one of them. Is that all? The rest of you need to see this thing. He has some great programs. He's sort of the red-green of amateur radio. Great program. Anyway, he started out and actually is a broadcast engineer by trade. And I think you all know him. And without further ado, here's George.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you everyone here who watches Hamvention and watches my original program, AmateurLogic.TV. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my partner, Tommy, with AmateurLogic, and my good friend, Rob Holland, working with us. It takes a whole group to put these things together. We're very fortunate to be working with these people. And Michael, I don't know what to say, but I wish that we could give an award to Dayton for the best parent.
thank you. Thank you, George. Congratulations. Special achievement.
Kind of brings a tear to my eye every time I think about it. Man, I was nervous standing up there.
Yeah, that was a pretty big honor.
It was. It
Very
was
big
quite-
honor, well deserved.
You didn't look nervous, George. Pretty much every time I see you up in front of people or up in front of the camera, your broadcasting experience comes through, and you just look very polished.
Yeah.
No, not really. No, it was quite an honor. I really appreciate them giving me that award. And like I say, without the help of all you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. And
Well, it's a team effort, no doubt, but you are the tip of the spear, and so you deserve that.
well,
Yeah. Well, because you're hosting multiple programs, but not only that, you're actually doing a lot in the production side as well, which is really, really important.
That's right.
yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort, but it's an effort of love or fun, maybe. I just enjoy doing it, and it's sort of like how would we say it? Here, hold my beer and watch this.
The famous last words.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, while we were in Dayton, this next one, Jim, you weren't with us on this trip, but it is probably one of the best video productions or most polished ones that we ever did.
Yeah, it's some of the best work for
Yeah.
sure.
It's not the funniest, but there really wasn't anything funny about this particular subject, or we would have found it. But no, we had a great tour of the Voice of America.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a quick look at that.
At the outbreak of World War II, Axis powers dominated international shortwave radio transmissions. Correcting this deficiency soon became an urgent strategic priority articulated by FDR himself. Robert Sherwood and the Foreign Information Service directed that the first official American broadcast be made in 1941. This initiative ultimately became the Voice of America.
Well, I'm talking with Dave Snyder here, a former employee of the Voice of America. Dave, you spent many years here, didn't you?
14 years.
14 years. And where are we standing right now? What is this called?
We're in the antenna switching matrix. Any one of our 6 broadcast transmitters could be connected to any of the 22 antennas via the switching matrix. So it's a gigantic telephone switchboard of 300 ohm balanced transmission line, 216 cross points out here for balanced transmission line. We happen to be at the junction of transmitter number 5 and antenna J2, the South America antenna.
Taking it, this is Bethany number 6 transmitter?
This is number 6 transmitter. This is just the front control panel of it. This is the diagnostic and metering panel. And basically, all of the 9 servo amplifiers are in this cabinet, which run all the tuning. The driver amplifier is in here, and right directly behind the driver amplifier is the power amplifier. Consists of 2 tubes in parallel, 4 CV100,000C tetrodes, and those are vapor cooled.
So this is the Voice of America amateur radio station here. Is that a special club, or is this part of DARA, or what is it?
No, it's the Westchester Amateur Radio Association. It's a unique club here at the Voice of America. And our purpose is to support the museum and have a world-class operating station.
Speaking of Mike, you know, he has created trouble around here before.
Yeah, you're talking about...
a VE3MIC, Mike.
That Mike.
That Mike.
Matter of fact, I think we've got a little bit of evidence. Well, right now, let's bring our pal Mike back in here, and we're going to get on to some really, what everybody's been waiting for tonight, that annual AmateurLogic.TV holiday gift guide. Mike, come on in and just help us to understand these great products and how they're going to benefit mankind.
Well, George, I'm offering some interesting products. I think that you know, your typical ham would really like the clap, for example.
Yeah, what does the clap do, Mike?
Well, the clap, you can remotely turn on and off your HF rig, and I believe it's 2 claps to turn the HF rig on and off, and if you do 3 claps, it turns on and off that HF linear.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Every ham needs one of those.
What else have you got there on page 1, Mike?
Well, we got the Uggy. You know, if you've spent all your home heating money on new ham equipment, the Uggy has you covered. You don't need heat with the Uggy. You just put one of those things on, you're toasty warm. You're ready to operate all night and day.
Yeah. You can see how cozy they are. I mean,
Tommy, you're just sitting a little too close for comfort there.
I couldn't move.
Yeah.
This is my favorite one, Mike. Can you tell us about the Crazy Jim Deluxe kit?
Sure thing. The Burns-O-Matic is perfect for antenna raising parties or harvesting parts from scrap circuit boards.
And it's only $29.95.
Yeah,
$29.95. Quantities are actually running a little low on stock, so you better get them now before they're gone. Because once they're gone, they're gone.
This one, Mike, I don't know. Tommy, I don't know that I really need one of those in my house.
I don't know. That bottom one's a thing of beauty, man.
Yeah, but the top one reminds me of a bad hair day back in the early 70s. Mike, tell us what we're looking at.
Well, George, we've got something new this year. It's just been come out this year. You probably see, imitations, but there's no substitute for the real thing. This is the Chai Pet. And it's now available, limited edition George Thomas or Tommy Martin. You know, everybody loves a Chai Pet, so order yours today.
I can see those just flying off the shelves.
Yeah, it makes a great dessert topping, too.
You would be surprised and amazed at how many of those Crazy Jim kits I've sold.
They're just flying off the shelves.
They're flying off the shelves, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I was looking at just as I was looking again at the clap. I was just thinking I could probably actually build that.
Yeah.
You probably could.
We ran into problems with that one, Peter, and the problem was George would start turning on his rig, and then his linear, and then his rig would go off from the first two claps turning on the linear, and he got hung in an endless loop, and I had to come out here and just,
Yeah.
get him out of the infinite loop there.
Yeah. And anytime you turn on the TV and like a sporting event was going on, and
Yeah.
the thing just went crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have to put a little more engineering into that one.
Yeah. And the chai pets, those were recalled. They were causing salmonella.
But I will say that you cannot have a more or a better marketing person behind your team than VE3MIC.
Oh, and you're so right about that. And we've got a little more proof coming up later in the episode.
Yeah. Okay.
But speaking of marketing, Peter, being a spokesman for the country of Australia, tried to introduce Tommy and myself to Vegemite. And
I remember this.
We'll just have to say, just take a look for yourself. What everyone has been waiting for tonight: Vegemite or die.
Everyone but two of us, right?
Everyone but two of us. I think you're right.
You think we're going to have enough strength to finish the show after we get through with this?
I don't know. I've never seen any Vegemite. There we go.
There we go.
Vegemite.
Yeah, now, you'd be surprised how long that will last because, as I say, you use the stuff very sparingly.
That stuff will probably last forever.
Yep.
Well, Tommy, why don't you do the honors here? It's heavy.
Yep, there you go.
Whew. Trying to decide what it smells like. To lose my earbud here.
Looks.
All right.
Looks
Just
like
a dime's
chocolate.
worth, Tommy. Just a dime's worth.
I'm gonna save half of the toast to wash it down with.
We'll note the name Kraft on the jar. In fact, you Americans actually
That's
own
not
our
a dime.
Vegemite. That'll do.
That'll do.
Yep.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to
put
say
enough on there to taste it.
what it looks like when you spread it.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
There we go.
There you go. So I do have a little bit on there. Is that too thick, Peter?
No, that's fine. Give that a try. That should be
This
good.
looks like you can keep your wheel bearings good condition too.
I'm not. I taste butter.
Because you didn't put any on there. You need to get it quartered.
Here, let me break it off where I can get a bit of it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I taste it now, and I don't think there's anything that compares with it that I know of.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of an acquired taste, but you'd be surprised how many kids have that for breakfast. On their toast. It's very, very, very popular.
Really?
You're talking a national dish here.
By people that love them? Like mothers give it to their children?
Absolutely.
On purpose?
It is time for the Vegemite revenge.
Has he already ate all of the grits?
I don't know. He's licking his lips.
No. I've prepared it per the instructions, microwaved it. I've used water. You can use apparently milk, half a cup of water with a sachet. And no, I've never ever tried any of this before. So looks like basically a corn porridge. So let's give it a try.
And this is grits, by the way, for you Yankees who may not have tried this. We're fixing to get an opinion from an Australian on good Southern
It's not
grits.
bad actually.
So which one did you do?
Did you do?
This is basically like eating porridge.
So is this
It's not bad at all.
the cheese or the original, or what flavor did you choose?
Oh, this is the butter.
No, the butter.
And,
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Mm.
Yeah. Some Yankees will put sugar on their grits, but that's just blasphemy.
Yeah, I figured he would like them, but I'm a little bit disappointed. It's not much of a revenge.
No, it's not a revenge at all. He seems to be enjoying it.
The revenge thing kind of backfired.
Yeah, it just didn't turn out the way we had hoped.
Of course, I love the grits too. I can certainly understand him liking them.
Yeah.
I remember when Peter first sent me an email and told me about the joke he was going to play on y'all with the Vegemite and what he was actually going to put in that jar.
Actual grease?
Well, I think he must have done it, Jim, because that's what it tasted like.
That's the real thing.
Oh, you never told them that about the joke? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah, that's.
Well, we've got more to go yet, because there's 10 years worth, and we're only giving you a sample here tonight. Because,
And aren't you glad?
Yeah. Well, hey, stand by. We'll be back in just a moment with some more fun. The fall season kicks off a fun time of the year, contesting. Whether you just jump in for a few hours or plan your week around the weekend strategy, Icom has you covered. Contesting on a budget? Check out the IC7410, 32-bit floating point DSP unit, all mode, SSB, CW, RIDI, AM and FM, and plus 30 dBm third-order intercept point to clearly receive the weakest signals. Icom's IC7600 has your window to the contest, the Spectrum Scope. LED backlighting on an ultra-wide 5.8-inch display, dual watch on the same band, advanced DSP technology, and 3 IF roofing filters. For low power category performance, just drop down the power to meet your low power requirements with Icom's IC7700. Spectrum waterfall display on an impressive 7-inch color LCD, audioscope function for AF observation, and direct remote control operation with Icom's RS-BA1 software. And with Icom's IC7851, when running with the big boys, you'll be leading the pack with all the pile-up breaking frequency running tools at your fingertips. 1.2 kHz optimum roofing filter, new local oscillator design with improved phase noise, and several spectrum scope enhancements. Make sure you visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on Icom's selection of contesting rigs. Even though Peter sent the Vegemite here, we had him back. And he had a nice little device that is used for testing components. And I think this is probably the first time I had seen one of these myself. But tell us what that was, Peter.
Oh, it's a little component tester. Actually, I'll give a little bit of word of warning for anybody who's actually bought this or considering buying it. I actually left it around in my junk box, and the little screen fell off, so it is a little bit delicate, okay? But it's a terrific little device, relatively inexpensive, and you just plug the component in, and it will tell you what it is. Let's see what we get for our trouble. Well, the little card, some packaging, and the item itself. Let's have a look at the board. On the front is a latch into which you insert your components. The advertisement claims that the tester can measure NPN, PNP bipolar transistors, N-channel and P-channel MOS, FET, JFET, diodes, 2 diodes, thyristors, and small power unidirectional and bidirectional thyristors, along with resistors and capacitors. It's now time to test the tester. I've added a battery to my tester, and I've gone through my junk box and looked around for a number of components. I found this. This is a 1.5K resistor. You lock it down, press test, get an evil mask, some words, a battery test, and then it tells me that the resistor, it's a resistor and it's got a resistance of 1496 ohms, which is close enough to 1500 or 1.5K. Anyway, all in all, I think it does what it says it does. Namely, it identifies components and gives you their values.
And for me, this will be really, really useful because when I'm soldering in resistors and capacitors, I can just put them into this device and work out what their values are straight away without having to muck around with color codes or with very, very tiny writing. So for $22, I think this is excellent value and can thoroughly recommend it.
One of our viewers, and I can't remember who it was now, saw that and sent us one of those.
Yeah, he sure did.
So that we'd have one too.
Yeah, it was really nice of them.
There's a whole show I did on this, but here's just a little piece of it. Well, I finally arrived here at Icom. Wasn't too hard to find. There's a big tower up there. Hi, Ray.
How you doing today, George?
Good to see you.
I'm glad you made it through all the infamous Seattle traffic.
I did, and it was kind of hairy, a little more than we have in Jackson. Well, this is a nice looking facility here. Why don't you show me around a bit?
Be glad to. Come on.
N7IH, the home of Icom America. Let's take a look around. As we step through the front door, we notice there's 3 operator positions here in the ham shack, featuring both current and vintage Icom gear. This is the historical area of the Icom facility, and as the word implies, there's a lot of history in here in all these great radios they've made over the years. Let's go back and look at some of the early ones.
The historical area covers a lot of things. Some of it has to do with technology. Some has to do with milestones. Others are industry awards. Some of them are sales achievements. But as we're standing here looking, 1964 was the very first product release from Inoue Electric Works Company Limited out of Osaka, Japan. This would be the FD AM1. 1970, the IC-20, Icom's first 2-meter mobile radio, utilizes crystal-controlled oscillators.
There's just too much here for us to talk about. I mean, just so many different products for so many different fields. This is something you really got to see for yourself.
Well, what we do is we take customers' requirements of systems and we assemble them and do all the tuning and alignment, and we provide a complete turnkey package.
Technical support has a very varied role here at Icom America. First of all, as many of the amateurs out there know, we take emails in our system here, and then we address those as best we can via email. We also take phone calls directly through our phone queue and answer questions that way. So a lot of the daily questions and answers that an amateur radio operator might have, we will deal directly here. We always have to remember that we probably have 1,500 different models of radios that we still answer questions on. We're not going to be able to keep all of those in here, nor do we still have representative samples of those radios. We just have the ones that are relatively recent and still a pretty popular radio as far as questions that are asked of us.
Here's one of our HF techs working on a 756 Pro, one of the early models. Well, we've got bins and bins of parts, whether they're large parts, chassis, or microscopic parts. This is where they get stored.
Overall, I had a great time visiting Icom America. The facility is modern and well equipped. The staff members were very friendly and knowledgeable, and I got the feeling that everyone cared about what they were doing and enjoyed it. It looks like these guys do it right. And they've got plenty of radios too. Y'all just couldn't imagine how many radios there were. I did not get a good shot of that warehouse. That was just one row that we were looking down there, and that was just a fraction of the warehouse area.
Nice.
And I think that was only, I've forgotten how long they told me, that was only maybe 2 or 3 months supply of radios sitting there on the shelf.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong on those numbers, but it was a ridiculously short period of time for what I thought, you know.
It looks like a nice facility.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
brand new, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, they are new in it. I think the building was something else previously.
Okay.
And so they've got a lot of extra room there that they're not using right now, so they got room to grow. So,
nice.
Well, excellent facility, though, and a lot of nice people there as well. You know, we like to tinker with stuff, and that's kind of what AmateurLogic was from the start, is we've always kind of liked to tinker in things, you know, while Jim likes to wield the torch. You know, Tommy and I will, we'll all pull out a soldering iron, but And I guess Peter too, and you too, we like playing with Arduinos and little microcontrollers.
Oh yeah.
One of our favorite things to do, and we've got a little evidence here of some of the projects that we did.
The Arduino later.
Here's our built-up circuit. We've got a little speaker here, and that's connected to ground on the Arduino, as well as digital pin number 8. We'll be using that pin as an output to drive the speaker. Next, we'll produce a tone. So we've got tone and then in parentheses speaker, comma, frequency. We're going to generate a tone and we're going to produce it on digital line speaker, which if we look back up here, that's going to be pin 8. And the tone will be freak. As we start increasing the frequency, we'll notice on the serial monitor that the frequency is increasing there as well.
I want to talk to you today about something that's dear to my heart, and that's the Save the Arduino campaign. Every day, hackers needlessly let the smoke out of their Arduinos. I did it myself working on a project. I ran 13 volts into pin number 2, and I let the smoke out of it. I got to checking around, and I could buy a replacement chip for it. It's about $5 or so, and this one's already got the bootloader installed on it. Unless you've got a way to burn the bootloader to your chip, go ahead and buy the one with it already on it. It's worth a couple of dollars to have that done for you. And it looks like that should do it. Just snap it in. And now let's check pin 2, which was definitely dead. And it's working. Be kind to your Arduinos, and if you happen to let the smoke out of it, all hope's not lost. Just order yourself another chip and replace it. You're good to go.
That was a great segment there. I know that, there's a lot of guys out there crying right now that just the beauty of it.
Well, it kind of brought a tear to my eye as well. It's near and dear to my heart. So save those Arduinos and don't throw them in the trash.
I'm ready to take it to the next level now. And rather than use a $24 Arduino Uno for this, I just don't feel good about that because I could be using that Uno for something else. What I'm going to build here is a simple circuit that'll always be the same and really doesn't need reprogramming. So I'm going to build what I call
the cheap Arduino.
Here's the schematic for an Arduino Uno, and you can see there's a fair number of components on there. Not an outstanding number, but there's a lot of these components that we're just not going to need for a scaled-down operation like this. This is an Arduino Uno clone that just has a basic functionality to do the things you'd normally do with an Arduino, but has been stripped down so it only has the components necessary for that. It will not connect to a computer because I've left that out. You can see I've got the ATmega 328P chip with the bootloader installed on it. This is the same chip that the Arduino Uno uses. And that's all there is to our schematic. And now for parts, we'll need an ATmega 328P with the bootloader, a 28-pin dip socket if we don't want to solder the chip directly to the board, and we don't want to do that because we'll be taking the chip in and out if we need to program it, an LM7805 5-volt regulator, a 10K ohm 1/8 watt resistor, a single-pole, single-throw push-button switch, a 16 megahertz crystal, 2 22 picofarad 10-volt capacitors, 2 10 microfarad 16-volt capacitors, 1.1 microfarad 10-volt capacitor, some type of PC board or perf board or whatever you want to build the circuit on, and some assorted headers and connectors, whatever you want to use for the I/O pins. So now, how do I get this onto a PC board? I've made boards myself before, and I've also had some made by board houses, but I've never used Express PCB, and I think I'm going to use that for this project. So we'll be talking about that in the future.
Tommy and I were talking, I don't know, it was about a year ago. We were thinking, we're having a lot of fun doing Amateur Logic, and there's a need for another type of show that's not out there right now, and we think we can do it. And why don't we get together and do a pilot of it and see how it turns out?
Yeah.
And
I believe I've seen this pilot you speak of.
At the end of each month, it's AmateurLogic's Ham College, the new show for those new to the hobby and those wanting to get into amateur radio.
Which of the following is a purpose of the amateur radio service as stated in the FCC rules and regulations?
that inductor and capacitor form a tuned circuit. That's how you tune the radio to the frequency that you want. The English language.
We lived in town. I liked it. I listened to mine a lot. It was really cool because you didn't have to have a battery to power it.
There's our homemade telegraph station. We can use it for long distance communications. Oh, like, 3 feet here?
Across the table. The answer is B. Voltage was named after Italian physicist Alessandro Volta.
We can see we're generating a little bit of electricity there. It's DC.
It's always great to go back and get a refresher.
It sure is.
A lot of that stuff, if you've been a ham for a while like we have, you don't really think about a lot of that stuff that often.
They didn't have electric screwdrivers in those days, so that's why we're not using one.
That's why we went primitive with it.
Yeah. So let's see if we can hear anything when we fire off our spark gap transmitter.
Oh yeah.
Well, we didn't build anything or blow up anything today, but
the night's still young.
You know, we promised you something good, and it's not like we haven't given you something good already tonight. But we've got
extra good.
Something extra good here, and yes, it's courtesy of that Mike guy from north of the border. He had a lot to do with this. Now, we did have some help from a couple of celebrities in there as well.
Yeah, we did.
But, you know, Christmas is always a special time of year here at AmateurLogic, and we're just glad that this year, or this past year, that we had something that people could take home with them. We talked a little earlier about, you know, the holiday gift guide and some of the complications there, but you did find something special for us for Christmas this year, didn't you?
Yeah, we've put an album collection together. I think you're going to like it, George.
Wow, that's a nice looking collection.
This is destined to be a Christmas classic for years.
I think so. Tell us a little bit about it, Mike.
All the old-time carols. I didn't know too much about them, but, you know, they look like they've been around for a while.
They do look old, don't they?
They do, but yet disturbing at the same time.
Yes, very disturbing.
Tommy and I almost quit doing AmateurLogic here a while back to take on another career.
I don't know what kind of rap it is, what genre you would put that in. It's not gangster rap, it's more like grandpa rap.
Grandpa rap.
You can judge for yourself.
Well, let's take a listen to it.
It's beginning to look a lot like a ham shack.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah, I think I'd stick with the day job.
Yeah,
but you know, I still get calls from the agent trying to book us for those gigs every now and then, especially this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy, ignite the spirit. Circuit boards roasting over an open fire, I think, is his big hit on that album.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have a clip of that, unfortunately. It's, I guess it's still being pressed as we speak.
Yeah, well, so that's a shame.
It's still being mastered, I think.
You know, you can almost smell the phenolic right here, can't you?
Yeah.
We got some more over there, don't we?
We do.
Oh, boy, now, this is...
The king.
Well, what can you say about this, Mike? Kind of set it up before we go to it.
Oh, Santa Ray, you know, actually, he's been spotted in a lot of Walmart stores lately, and I don't know what the reason is for that, but I'm sure this one's going to be a hit.
This one's near to your heart, isn't it,
Yeah,
Tommy?
it is. And this is about somebody's antenna that came down by the squirrels.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I need a BB gun for Christmas. That's what I need.
Ray will probably never speak to us again. Jim, you've not seen that, have you?
No, that was a new one on me.
You got to go back
I
and
think,
watch.
I think we're due for a new Christmas album from Rock and Ray. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it could. They're such great sellers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Elvis really is alive.
You could. I mean, you could almost pick out the voice there.
Yeah, Ray sounded awesome. I didn't know he could sing.
That doesn't sound like Ray to me.
Yeah, well, a lot of people sing different than they sound.
Mystery voice.
Yeah. Jim, seriously, you got to go watch the rest of it. That was only a sampling of the album. There's a lot more where that came from.
Yeah, plenty more where that came from.
Yep.
Good deal.
Well, Radio Shack is about gone now.
Yeah.
What remains was more or less kind of propped up with Sprint stores.
Yep.
And
sad but true.
Sad but true. But when they were closing out all those stores, they ran some pretty good sales on some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy and I made several trips through there and picked up a lot of things. We've got for one show we got together and kind of showed our wares and just kind of, try to give folks an idea of our keen shopping sensibility and how cheap we got stuff. Radio Shack filed for bankruptcy on February the 5th last week.
Yeah, that really saddens me. When I was a kid, my first memories of Radio Shack, I delivered newspapers before school, and most of my money I earned from that I spent at Radio Shack.
Tell us about the bargains you picked up.
Well, we got some good stuff here. Let me just show you one in particular I got. It's a digital voltometer, of course, Radio Shack brand. And you'll notice I've already put a sticker with my name over the top of where the Radio Shack logo does, like I generally do with my Radio Shack test equipment. It's got a USB port on it, so you can hook it up to your computer. It comes with software. It's auto ranging. Really a decent little meter. Now this one, it's one that had been discontinued but was still at the store. At one point went for around $80. I bought that one for $4.98.
Oh, wow. You got a steal.
I did.
I literally went twice, and I came out with a grocery-sized bag like this, full each time. I got some good stuff in here, so I don't think I'll have time to go over all of it. But this is one of the cool things that I got, and I guess I should have taken it out of the package.
Yeah, show us what that is.
But it's an emergency radio, and it does AM, FM, and several different bands. It's solar powered, and if you don't have sun, you can actually crank the thing up and charge it. And there's a battery in there to reserve the power that you generate, and there's a USB port on it, so you could even charge your cell phone and flashlight built into it as well.
Okay, you need to get to cranking because it wasn't very bright.
Yeah, I need to get to cranking. The battery was flat dead when I got it. I set it out in the sun a little while this afternoon, but it needs to be charged up good.
Yeah, I wish I would have got one of those. I didn't notice any last time I was in.
Yeah, and I don't think I said how much I gave for it.
No,
I gave
much?
a grand total of like $2.60 something for it.
Wow. Amazing. Now, well, I got a bunch of stuff. I went twice and brought back numerous bags each time, but I did get these. This is a set of Clips earbuds that you would use with your iPhone or your iPad or any portable music player that uses the 4-conductor type of cable. I'm thinking it's got it's got a little control here in the cable for the volume and mute and
Oh, so you can use that one for like a speakerphone.
Yeah, I think it's got a microphone built into it. I really hadn't fooled with it yet. I plugged it in once and I saw that it worked and it sounded pretty good. These were originally like $99.95. I bought these for $13.48.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. There's not been many episodes where three of us did, a technical project and pulled it together, but April of 2015 was one of those times, and we had some good things that time around. Here, just look at it. Particularly good show tonight, I think, because all three segments are are really just right up our alley kind of stuff. Good projects.
Good topics this time.
Yeah, so that's good.
Every time though, right?
Every time, but particularly this time.
Yeah.
That's all pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to have a look at this box that I made. Hello everyone and welcome once again.
If you ever wanted to get on D-Star and you were concerned about the cost or about how difficult it may be, then this is the show for you. No more excuses. I got this new toy here from Northwest Digital Radio. It's called the Thumb DV. You saw George's DV3000 segment a few months back. Well, this is built on the same AMBI3000 codec chip, and it works fantastic. It really couldn't be any easier to set this thing up and use it.
Today I'm going to build a new kit called the SkyPi 40. It's a software-defined transmitter for HF, and it's designed for QRP enthusiasts and experimenters who want a modern and versatile software radio created for the Raspberry Pi.
And it's good to be back with you again. I've never said that before. But
No, you haven't. But it really is good to be here this time.
It is. It took a little bit to get here tonight, didn't it?
It did.
But
Yes, indeed.
we're here now and got a good show lined up for you. A particularly good show tonight, I think, because all three segments are really just right up our alley kind of stuff. Good projects.
Good topics this time.
Yeah, so that's good.
Every time though, right?
Every time, but particularly this time.
Yeah.
That's all pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to have a look at this box that I made. Hello everyone and welcome once again.
If you ever wanted to get on D-Star and you were concerned about the cost or about how difficult it may be, then this is the show for you. No more excuses. I got this new toy here from Northwest Digital Radio. It's called the Thumb DV. You saw George's DV3000 segment a few months back. Well, this is built on the same AMBI3000 codec chip, and it works fantastic. It really couldn't be any easier to set this thing up and use it.
Today I'm going to build a new kit called the SkyPi 40. It's a software-defined transmitter for HF, and it's designed for QRP enthusiasts and experimenters who want a modern and versatile software radio created for the Raspberry Pi.
I want to apologize, Peter. Something didn't go right in the editing there.
Hello and welcome back again.
Welcome back and goodbye.
I don't know what happened there. Once we got enough viewers out there that we started getting some sponsors, they were able to help us do some things that we couldn't have otherwise ever dreamed of being able to do. And one of those was back in May of this year. We streamed AmateurLogic live from the floor of Dayton Hamvention at the Icom booth. And we want to thank Icom for putting that together and for all the guests who were there and came on and visited with us. As a matter of fact, Mike is in the chat room there, and I think Joe Eisenberg, K0NEB.
Yeah, Joe was up there with us
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we had a lot of people join us, and boy, had a great show there. It was 2 hours long, sort of like this one is probably going to end up being. But really a fun time, and you know, when we started this, I never would have dreamed that 10 years later that somebody would be sponsoring us to do a live webcast from the floor of Dayton Hamvention.
Yeah, from the biggest Hamfest in the world.
Yeah. And people would actually show up and watch it. You know,
yeah.
They did that too.
That's the surprising part, right?
Yeah. No, really, we had a fantastic time there, and you know, I don't know if we'll ever do that again, but who knows?
Who knows? But it was a big time. They really put on really nice production, had a great stage, lighting, the whole bit, man.
As
it
a
was
matter of
first
fact,
class.
I think we've got about half a case left of this Icom and AmateurLogic crime scene tape. And when we give away this HF station here in a few minutes, why don't we make this one of the consolation prizes? We'll send somebody 500 feet.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
We're it's
going to be somebody's lucky day.
We've only got about 3,000 feet left, so you know it's going to be in short supply here.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, we appreciate Icom hosting Amateur Logic here at Dayton this year.
Well, I'm glad you're able to come into my playground this time instead of me coming into Jackson all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we come to Hamvention, but this is the first time we've done a live stream from here, and we're recording this as well, and it'll be a special episode of Amateur Logic. We're planning on going 2 hours this afternoon if nobody passes out and the feds don't show up. But thanks for stopping by, and once again, congratulations here, everybody. Let's hear it for the Ham of the Year, Tim Duffy, K3LR. Thanks, Tim. Well, here's Simon ZL2 FAE. Simon, what brings you to Hamvention?
Second time. First time was just to have a quick look and scout it out. Second time was to drag a few people back. There's about a dozen of us come from New Zealand, and between me and another guy, we talked a whole lot of them to bring their wives as well. So the wives are happy and the guys are happy. And second year helping out on Ham Nation stand.
Well, we really appreciate that. So y'all came halfway around the world to get here then?
Yep. It's only 12 hours though. The longest part, getting across to Dayton here has been the day spent in the shopping malls on the way. So the flight was the easy part.
Why don't we start thinking about Dayton 2015, but only after tomorrow, because we still got another day left.
Yeah, we still got 20. It is 2015.
2016.
That's next year.
Where have I been for the last 365 days?
He's been hanging with Gordo in California.
Okay.
They all run together.
Yeah, after the first 9 years or so. Well,
I can't believe when I was in Huntsville, you told me that Dayton is 10 times the size of Huntsville. I'm still trying to get my head around that.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
Wow.
Yeah. You'll have to come back over and come to Dayton one year.
Yeah, if you've never been to Dayton, I guess there's nothing else like it.
No.
Mm.
They
Just the
say
scale of it. Wow.
The one in Germany is
Friedrichshafen.
Yep. Is pretty doggone good, but I don't think it's quite as big as Dayton.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Dayton will be interesting this year because I think they may be in another location.
No, they're not. They've confirmed that they're going to be at Harrow.
Same. Okay.
And I assume that's as long as Harrow is there
that they will be
the case.
Oh, cool.
So, well, that's our footage collection for the 10th anniversary episode here. Don't go away though, because we're fixing to give away that grand prize for the 10th anniversary, and we'll talk about that in just a moment here. But as we mentioned at the first of the show, if you have not watched the 7th year anniversary special, there were 2 shows there. Go back and watch those. They're very much like this show was, except there was a lot more of the earlier stuff in there and a lot of the funny stuff.
Yeah.
A whole lot of the funny stuff. And Jim was wielding a torch in there.
As he does.
Yeah. In between taking dips in the pool.
Oh.
But that was some really good stuff too. So we appreciate everyone supporting Amateur Logic, and those of you who watched the live stream tonight and having a good time over there in the chat room. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
Jim,
appreciate you guys for hanging so long with us.
we are really glad that you came in to be part of this celebration.
So am I. It was fun. It has been fun, and you guys are really coming up in the world. You got a lot of new equipment. It's almost a whole new gig.
Well, in a way, it's just a progression.
It's just a new and improved gig.
Yeah.
I see now that I'm going to have to go back, and I'm going to have to buy a new digital torch.
I would like to see that.
Have to
be sure to roll some tape when you do that.
Yeah, are you
have to upgrade on my end.
Are you going to go for the 5 volt or the 3.3 volt?
Oh man, we're going all the way. 5 volts.
5
yeah.
volt.
Just get yourself an arc welder.
Yeah, digital.
Digital,
Yeah.
going all digital.
It's time we give away this complete HF base station here that we've been talking about for a few months. They're not going to let us keep it, so we're going to give it to one of our best friends here.
Uh-huh.
Your new best friend.
We just don't know which one yet, but we're going to find out here in just a second.
Okay.
First, let's go over what we got here. The first thing is the HF radio here. It's the Icom IC7410. Tommy and I have talked about this particular radio a number of times.
Oh, yeah.
It's one that when somebody asked me for a recommendation on a radio, the first one I mention, if they don't give me a specific criteria of what they're looking for,
Yeah.
the price on this one, it's not the bottom of the line, but it's far from the top price-wise, but it sounds so much like Icom's top-of-the-line rigs. The DSP in it came from the same team. It's really a great sounding radio. I think Tommy was real impressed with
It is. The audio is fantastic on it.
Yep, it's got a faster DSP than a lot of rigs have, and it uses the same in-house DSP engineers that Icom uses for their other rigs. It's got double conversion super heterodyne, 3 first IF filters in it, a large display. That's a really nice size display.
Yeah, I can see that display without my glasses.
And yeah, and one of the things about it that is really nice is on the rear of it, and I don't have a picture of it.
I was just about to say, yeah.
There's a USB connector on there, Jim. That USB port, I mean, that is really nice because it gives you audio in and out of the rig. It's like a sound card built into it, so you don't have to have a sound card with your computer to do digital modes or to use it over the internet. If you want to remotely control this, you just plug that USB in to your computer, run the RSBA, what is it?
RSBA1
software, and you've got complete control of the rig, audio and everything off of that one USB connector. You don't have a bunch of cables to hook up to be able to operate remotely from your laptop. Somebody's about to win it. It's going to go out the door here. Well, not tonight because they're closed.
Maybe Monday. What else are we going to give away, George?
Well, we're going to have a power supply to go with that because the rig operates off 12 volts. And Jim's got some information on that.
I do. MFJ's Mighty Lights. Very nice. Variable voltage DC power supplies from 9 to 15 volts. Highly regulated. 13.8 volts of DC will get you fired up with your Icom. And what I like best about it, great big meters on the front will never leave you in any kind of doubt where you stand. If you're like me, unfortunately, I get in a hurry sometimes and I'll wind up binding more things to my one power supply than I probably should, and what ham hasn't. So the big red and black binding posts on the front will allow you to do that and still not burn the house down.
And it's got 45 amps, so it can handle more than one thing being hooked up.
Exactly.
Yeah, 45 amps gives you plenty of headroom.
Yeah.
45 amp surge, but 40 continuous.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. And over voltage protection and over current protection.
Yeah, that's important as well. And the thing Tommy likes best about it,
lightweight, compact size.
And of course, we're going to need something else to go with that, so it's going to be an antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get on the air with that.
So we're going to also, courtesy of MFJ, we're going to have a 40 meter off center fed dipole. Have you got the info on that?
Yeah, I do.
there?
This is the MFJ 2010 OCF. It's ultralight. It covers 40, 20, 10, and 6 meters. Handles up to 300 watts PEP sideband CW. Perfect low profile, portable, and QRP operations. The whole thing weighs less than 2 pounds. And it delivers up to 6 dB of gain on 40 meters, 9 on 20, and a whopping 11.5 on 10 and 6 meters.
Hard to beat.
This is the antenna that I used for field day this year.
Yeah.
This is the exact one that I used. And, you know, Tommy and I have always recommended off-center fed dipoles. I think you've had good luck out of them, too.
Oh, yes. My very first ham radio antenna.
If you don't have a lot of room to put up a lot of antennas, you get a lot of bang for your buck in a relatively small amount of space with that.
Absolutely.
And, of course, we're going to need to be able to connect that up to the rig. So MFJ is also going to give us 100 foot of their MFJ coax to complete the package.
That ought to pretty much round out the whole kit, right?
Pretty much round out everything you need to get on the air.
That's right.
Because the rig has an auto tuner built in it already.
Absolutely.
So you're set to go. We're using random.org. I've entered in the number of entries that we had to the contest. All these entries were at contest 2015 at AmateurLogic.TV. That's where people went and registered. And it's time to draw. So I'm going to hit the generate button here. It looks like the lucky winner is going to be entry number 1030.
All right.
So
I've won! I've won!
No. I don't think you have, Peter. And the winner is Scott Cross, KB3M KD. He's an extra from La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Awesome. Congratulations, Scott.
Yeah, congratulations, Scott. We'll be getting in contact with you and arranging details to get this shipped to you. We appreciate you and everyone else who entered the contest here. And we really appreciate Icom and MFJ for making this possible.
Yeah, and we appreciate everybody else out there for watching us for 10 years.
Exactly.
Indeed. I just checked online. Scott has actually got a Twitter. So everybody Twitter Scott. Tell him he's won.
Tell him he's won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Scott.
Congratulations,
Tommy,
Scott.
Congrats, Scott.
We want to give away a couple other things before we go tonight because we said that we would, and I think you've got them over there beside you. What do you want to give away first?
Let's give away some. Winter's coming on, and somebody's going to get cold. So let's give away this nice lab jacket, lab coat.
Whoa, that is
official
nice.
AmateurLogic and Icom lab coat.
This is the last one from the show we did in Dayton this year, the live broadcast we were talking about.
Yep.
And somebody's going to win. Woohoo!
John Mundy, K4JNM. Is that what that looks like to you?
JNM?
Yep.
Nancy Mike.
From Cummings, Georgia. And he's an extra as well. So congratulations, John. We'll be getting in touch with you. And you got one more thing over there to give away, don't you?
We got some crime scene tape. Icom and AmateurLogic crime scene tape.
And let's
crime scene tape's really not a good name for it, but
our winner, Charles Whitman, KV4KS, and I think he goes by Monty.
KB4KS?
K Victor.
KV
Victor.
Yeah.
And his name is Charles what?
Charles Monty Whitman from Ruston, Virginia.
We found one other video.
We did. Before we go.
And I'm Peter. Well, howdy guys.
Well, hi Peter. Fancy meeting you here.
Peter, nice to meet you finally.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, to meet you, and to meet everybody down here in Alabama.
And to answer the question, yes, Peter has a full body to go with from here up.
I do actually. I'm not just a box.
It's not just a floating head.
How was the trip?
Long, 15 and a half hours from Sydney to Dallas, and then an extra hour from Melbourne to Sydney, and also from Dallas to Huntsville. So it's been a long trip, but definitely worthwhile.
Well, we're glad you made the trip.
That's an incredible.
It was great coming over there and meeting you guys, meeting all the people that came up and said hello to me at Huntsville, and it was a great trip. Not just for going to Huntsville, but I went right around the world, and those that have gone to my Facebook page will see all the photos that I took, which were over 2,000, so quite an amazing trip.
Wow. Yeah. Big times. Well, we appreciate everyone who's stuck with us 10 years and also those who just found the show in the last couple of months.
Yeah, and the sponsors that have helped us stay on
and the
so long.
sponsors.
'Cause, it was getting kind of expensive, and without those, we might not be here.
Well, and we certainly wouldn't have done a lot of the special
absolutely.
shows from locations that we probably couldn't have got to otherwise. So,
No doubt.
Jim, we appreciate you being here
Likewise.
for the 10th. And well, let's
Great to
come
see
back
you.
and do it again, man. People have been asking, where is Jim? What is Jim doing? So
And now you know.
Now you know. He's been buried up in the computer.
Yep. Trying to get a little software project or two off.
Yeah.
If you're interested, you can go out to Host Signals with a Z.
Spell that.
Host Signals, but ends in a Z, not an S, .com. And you'll get a little idea of what I've been doing. Just a little moonshot project.
Cool.
Everybody's got to have a moonshot project.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it seemed like your timing on this one was just kind of,
Slightly,
it's kind of like you had some inside information.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
73, everybody. We'll see you next month.
7-3.
73s.
Here, will you look down there on the floor and pick that microphone up and
Do you think?
hang it back on your shirt?
My goodness, it has fallen. Oh, dear. You're right.
There were some jokes in the chat room while we were watching that message there from Icom. We can't really bring them up here, but we enjoyed reading them.
Yeah.
In our travels, I went to...
You sure?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the town now. Let me just say, I had a good time there. And
The best you remember.
Really good time.
well, I was hanging with Ray Novak. What do y'all expect? It's time we give away these. Yeah, and this is how we do it a lot of times here. I just wanted to kind of, keep with tradition.
Keep with tradition, yeah.
This is just how we did it the other times.
In honor of me being on the show, of course. Yeah.
Exactly.